today's video, I'm surprising Sambucha with his very own custom fake YouTuber product, and he tries it out to see what he thinks. Because he's done this for a bunch of other YouTubers in the past, I thought it would be cool for him to have his own fake YouTuber product. A couple months ago, Sam reached out to see if I'd be down to help out on a video about doing fake YouTuber product reviews. Fortunately for me, Sam was one of the 23,000 people that actually saw my original custom Prime video, so he originally asked if I could ship out the custom bottles I'd made, along with work on other parts of the video like the custom chocolate bar, which was Mr. Least's Leastables. He then released that video and hit me with the utmost respectable shout out.
The creator around this is Will Shrigley, so shout out to Will. He shipped me all of this, he custom printed it and did all the labeling and stuff. He's an absolute beast. And if you scan this QR code right here, it brings me to Will Shrigley's YouTube channel, because once again, Will Shrigley is responsible for creating Leastables.
Thank you, Sam. And I continue to make other YouTuber products the following videos. Fast forward to May, completely unrelated note, I've actually never attended VidCon, and every time I realize it's happening, it already happened. However, I was scrolling all the creators to see who'd be featured, because again, I don't know how this works. And I see Sam. Genuinely, when seeing this was announced, it felt like the SpongeBob levitating meme with music, because this was too perfect of timing. However, before I even get the idea of making a custom YouTuber product, I wanted to reach out to Sam to see if it would be possible if we could actually like meet up and I give him the product, because he's going to be here for VidCon. Then the video could be like fully followed through, kind of similar to Daniel Craft's video where he made custom YouTuber play buttons and then actually delivered them to Mr. Beast and Dude Perfect. I thought that kind of like made the whole full circle, you know, story moment. And I've actually never met up with someone and given them the custom design that I made. So I sent a text to see if this would be a possibility, and bro was more than happy to meet up for this. So now that I had confirmation to give Sam said finished product, I needed to make said finished product. And VidCon was June 19th and it was June 14th. So I spent every day after work grinding this. First question, what product are we gonna be making? Kombucha. I feel like there's no other product that would make sense because Sambucha and Kombucha are like half of the same word. Starting off the design, I knew I wanted to take the look and feel from Sam's short form content specifically and put that on the bottle label. Mainly because the dimensions of short form is vertical and a bottle label is also kind of vertical. So I wanted that to match. So I looked at things like his captions, his title, placement of the face cam, and the placement of his footage to see kind of where I could pull from. Two ideas immediately popped in my head. One was to make the typography and overall text feel very condensed and narrow, again, to match that kind of vertical dimensional fit that short form content has. And two was to use his backwards green baseball hat that is literally everywhere and have that be the color palette or kind of the shape of the label. Fun fact, you will notice there's not a lot of the use of color green in food products because mold. So I immediately got rid of the green idea. Also, the shape of the baseball backwards hat on the label, that wasn't giving off the right vibe either. So I totally ditched those ideas. So to change this, I looked through a bunch of Sam's short form content and saw that pretty much 99% of the time, Sam's face cam is on the bottom half of the screen and the outsourced footage is on the top, which creates a really harsh line of contrast. There's no like drop shadow or no white line. So that was an element that I did want to try and maintain. However, I went and spent some time looking at some condensed and vertical narrow fonts, and then I found this image, Monique New. First off, I love this font for Kombucha. I thought it fit the perfect, weird, funky, groovy vibe kind of that like Kombucha has. Like soda is a standard, right? That's a standard unhealthy drink. So I kind of think standard as in like Ariel or Helvetica. But Kombucha's like has a twang to it or something off. So I thought the font with like really randomly stretched areas of the text fit that vibe really well. Also, the relationship between the text and that little mascot in the corner, perfect. It gave me some inspiration to come up with like another visual idea to put next to the text, because I know I personally like logos and word marks just with text. I kind of tend to have a lot of emphasis on the text in all my projects, and I want to do something completely different for this video. So I wanted to actually add some pretty picture to look at instead of just the text. And from this image, I found the perfect solution to represent Sam's short form contrast vertical content with the text. The top would say Sambucha in bold, and then the flavor could say the flavor, obviously, underneath outlined. That way you have bold and like not bold on top of each other, creating that same contrast as Sam does with his short form content. And it can be easily recognizable across different flavored bottles, depending on how many bottles I make. Now, the main problem with this great image I've got of inspiration is that little mascot in the corner is in a style of illustration called rubber hose animation. This style was prominent throughout the 20s, where you can see like Mickey Mouse, Felix the Cat, Betty Boop. You can even still see the aesthetic of this today with games like Bendy and Cuphead. But there's no way around this. I can't like start with a bunch of shapes and then go from there. I have to draw, and I don't have a lot of experience drawing, obviously. However, because I literally could not think of any other cool visual element to add with the text, and I didn't want to just put the text on there because Sambucha with the bottom flavor would have been boring, I decided to challenge myself for this project and actually draw. Shocker, graphic designer draws for the first time. Looking at the mascot, I couldn't obviously copy it directly because it's in the shape of a TV, and that doesn't make sense. So I did some brainstorming to see what icons could represent the little mascot that I guess would probably be called Sam, and I came up with a verification badge. Besides the fact that Sam literally just hit 10 million subscribers, which is like the final verification, if you will, of like YouTube getting plaques and rewards. In all of Sam's short form content, which I noticed is he tends to say pretty cool, right? Or something with a thumbs up at the end.
Very cool. Pretty cool, right? 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 Pretty cool, right?
So I wanted to have a verification badge be the mascot because that's kind of like it's Sam verified or like it's approved. I don't know. That was what I thought of. Surprisingly, drawing this did not take as long as I expected. I feel like I say that all the time, but like I genuinely was terrified I was gonna be sitting here for hours. But shout out Julina May Animations. She has a ton of video tutorials showing how to draw eyes, shoes, gloves, pretty much everything you need to know if you don't know anything about drawing in this style. So I mainly just rewatched her video tutorials partnered along with some reference images so I could have gloves and shoes at the right angles. After like an hour and a half of sketching, which again, insanely fast, don't know my brain, shout out to my brain. But I sketched a bunch of different components together, like I said, the gloves, the shoes, the eyes, all separate, and then I put them all together and I actually got something that literally looked exactly how it imagined in my brain. So like, that was cool. If you were wondering what actual product I was going to use, there's pretty much 3 main kombucha bottles and companies that I pretty much see everywhere. There's Synergy, which is like the main kombucha. Like when people think kombucha, they think this bottle, and because it's that iconic, I chose not to use it. 2, there's Brew Doctor, and 3, there's Health Aid. Now I didn't go with Brew Doctor because it actually has the bottle cap in the same color as the flavor of the bottle, and that was just gonna be something to again work around. And I only had like 5 days, so I went with Health Aid because the logo is an anchor and that's pretty easy to like oversee, and the cap was black, so it would pretty much all go with the label no matter what color the label was. Then I scanned the file and put in Illustrator and then started tracing with the pen tool. I don't have a drawing tablet, shows you how much I draw. But yeah, there's a pretty straightforward process. I went and traced the entire sketch I had of the little verification mascot, but then also went and tried other hand variations that I had and other shoe variations. I skewed them, I flipped them. This is the part where obviously I can't draw because I can't edit the drawing once I drew it. So thankfully I could reorganize everything, and then I put them all together and it looked pretty good. That matched the style. Then I could add the background elements. I think I started with a gradient, but that didn't really fit that rubber hose style. So I went and actually looked at the Looney Tunes outro, the That's All Folks, and it had a bunch of circles inside each other. That I thought really represented that early 20s, 30s animation. So I basically did the same thing and made that same pattern and put it on the back. However, the more information I copied down, I started to realize even though I had a mascot, if I was walking down the store aisle and saw these bottles on the shelf, I would have no clue what the flavor is because I can't see it. So even though I already had a mascot, which was a visual element on the left, I thought it probably was necessary that I actually do another illustration or another visual element of the fruit and put that on the right. So even if you're as blind as me and you're from far away, you can at least see the fruit of the flavor so you can get an idea. Problem is, what does fruit look like in a rubber hose animation style? Because I did some research and I couldn't find anything. So I actually went to ChatGPT to like give me a list of things that make fruit or objects look iconic in that style. And then it generated an image which looked like this, and it kind of works, but it also looks hella generic. So again, I kept researching and I found out in the 20s, everything had a face. No matter if it was a lemon or a spoon, shit was just walking around with faces on and everything was personified. So I went back and I actually started retracing previous versions of eyes in the style that I originally made for the mascot, and I was gonna use those to put on the fruit. The fruit, again, I did take as a base inspiration from ChatGPT because those are just regular shapes of the fruit I needed. Lastly, I finished up all the fun facts like the daily prebiotic fact or the healthy gut acid fact. Again, added more personified little icons to go on the left side of the bottle because, again, that is the style. And I finally had a template that I could just copy and paste to other flavors. Then I went and changed the colors of all of them to match, again, not super bright and saturated, but more of a off tone that, again, would have fit that 1920s, 30s rubber hose animation. And holy shit, for a week, these look really good. And again, I don't ever draw, I don't have the animation background. These look exactly how I wanted them to look, which was fantastic. Now I just needed to go to the store, buy the bottles, except I totally forgot to film that, so here they are on my counter, run to print them and cut them out, and then I had to take off the original labels, but again, I had to make sure I didn't rip them off because then the label would be all bumpy and it wouldn't look smooth on the bottle. I almost forgot, I took all the labels off and then I had a bunch of random flavored bottles that were not named. So I labeled them with some tape, and now I can apply them on. Okay, so we have the prints and now we have the bottles. A little worried though because of a little thing called condensation. These bottles may be a little too wet for the paper, so I didn't think that through. Yeah, when I tell you these turned out so good, oh my gosh. God, dude. Like I said, there's condensation on these bottles. I did not print these just for them to be completely soaked and destroyed in 2 seconds. So again, I don't actually know if this is even worth it because these kind of have to stay in the fridge overnight, so this may be useless. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll just absorb onto the tape. That might not make it sticky. This is not sticking. We genuinely might have a problem. Oh my gosh, I have rubber bands. Wait a minute, this is the goat. I can't see from the front. Does this look good? This is why I randomly collect rubber bands. Bro, this is like the perfect method. Too good, bro. Okay, now, time lapse. So the paper's wet. Shit. We have that mostly done. Bro, I just set up the camera. These look so good. These look so goddamn good. And I'm annoyed that I can't fully see like what this looks like with the rubber bands because I'm genuinely too scared that the condensation is just gonna screw over the paper. It kind of did on the apple. Regardless, yo, Sam, this is lit. Also, it's so good. You can't see though because of the goddamn lighting. After applying these, Paris made a fantastic note. To prevent the ink from leaking, wrap it in plastic wrap or saran wrap. So that's what I ended up doing to make sure nothing looked bad for the next day to show Sam.
Okay, we are here with Sam, and now we can actually show what we've been working on. He has actually no clue what the process has been. Here's the box. To give some context, have you ever actually explained Sambucha, the name?
No, so it originated from a random name generator, so I'm never sure if it comes from like Kombucha or Sambuca, the Italian liquor. I think it's Kombucha, I want to say.
Regardless, I thought kombucha made the most sense.
Oh,
and
nice.
so they are wrapped right now because I didn't want the ink to bleed, but we got 4 different flavors.
Did you just create a merch thing?
Obviously, the first thing on these is you'll see a little verification badge. Something that you always do at the end of your videos. For short form, I kind of mainly targeted, is you usually say like, that's pretty good, or pretty cool, right?
Yep.
I thought it made sense to give a thumbs up for the front. Also, you just hit 10 mil, so again, congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
a verification badge I thought made sense.
This is actually insane. This looks so good. This looks professional. Like I would see this on the shelf at a CVS or wherever they sell kombucha. I've never had it in my life, by the way, kombucha.
Oh, really?
Not a single time. So this will be my first time even having kombucha, and I guess it's my own branded. So here we have the apple, Sambucha apple. I like apple. Oh, it's got carbonation kombucha. I have no idea what kombucha is. Apple kombucha.
Apple kombucha.
Cheers.
Okay.
Like, I have no reference. I don't know what to compare it to, but it tastes good.
It's just like apple juice.
Yeah, it's like apple juice, but carbonated. You know, some of the ingredients, like, contains 9% juice. Like, is that all fact checked? Are the calories?
Yeah.
That's all true?
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are based off what I took inspiration from for these bottles.
I wouldn't be upset if I was selling this. Like, I'd feel like I'd be giving a good product to my audience. Apple
Awesome.
solid. I like that. What do we have here? Tangerine?
Tangerine.
Okay. I just want to preface, I do not like orange or tangerine. I like them, but like as far as the ranking goes, that's like my least favorite.
Orange. Okay.
Okay.
That's like really not orange. Like that's very
Yeah.
tangerine.
Yeah, no orange. I mean, I guess it's true to what you labeled it as. It is tangerine, no orange. I guess I like tangerines.
Really?
I don't like oranges. I thought I didn't like both, but I like tangerines. I just don't like orange because I do kind of like this.
Okay, we have blueberry next. I have no clue what this is gonna taste like because I've never had any blueberry flavored kombucha. Those I feel like are standard.
Berry's my second favorite fruit, so I know I'm gonna like this.
Any specific berry? Blueberry, strawberry.
Raspberry first, and then blueberry
Really?
second. So I have high hopes for this.
You go.
I need another one.
You like it?
No, I didn't taste anything.
Oh, that's just not blueberry.
That's not blueberry.
That's not. What is that?
It's just like nothing. Like if I didn't drink that, I'd be the same right now.
Genuinely, if there's no label, I don't know what flavor that is. That's carbonated flavor.
Yeah, exactly. That's generic flavor.
Okay, we got lemon as the last one. I would imagine this should be the best flavor because I feel like lemon and ginger is like a very common kombucha. Here we go.
Let's do it. Wow, that's strong.
That's ginger.
Ooh. That will clear you out.
That shouldn't even be labeled as lemon. That should
Wow,
be ginger.
That's a lot of ginger. I like it though. Like if you have to clear out your sinuses, if you're feeling a little bit under the weather, you feel it
Yeah.
in your bones. Like that thing shakes you. I'm gonna say apple is my favorite. I'm gonna go ahead and say that lemon is my second, just because I like how it made me feel.
Okay.
You know, I felt like I was being healthy when I put that in my body. Tangerine third, blueberry fourth. Those were all really good, besides, honestly, this one just didn't taste it,
That's
but it's
just
like
nothing.
much better than I expected all of them. I'm a fan now. You had me, that's the first time I've ever tried kombucha.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't know Sam, I think realistically and statistically, you probably all do. Make sure to go subscribe to his channel. It'll be linked in the description. And I'll see you in my next video.